hello everyone, and welcome to the last week of the regular season here in Reddit League. My name is Atomo, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-commentator, Calamity. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, Calamity. Besides Geoguessr, what game do you play the most in a week?
The most, I'd say that always changes. There's
Mm.
usually no game that I just constantly play like a set amount of time. Like there's a couple of games that I've been playing for a long time, like Football Manager games or Counter Strike or stuff like that. But
Mm.
it's always like in spurts. Like I'll think, oh, I've watched a game of football or I've watched some Football Manager YouTube videos, and then I'll be like, okay, I want to play the game now, and then I'll not play it for like 3 weeks. So it always changes.
Yeah, watching YouTubers definitely impacts my playing habits. I watch a couple games, like, ooh, I want to play that, and then I play it for like a week or two, and then I don't touch it again.
Yep.
So, yeah, I follow my favorite YouTubers around in the gaming verse. But we always find our way back to the best game, of course, of all, Geoguessr. And today we've got a great final week matchup here in Division 1, Raidman Mucha against BOKSA. Top of the table matchup here, Calamity, to finish us off here.
Yeah. Both of them will be in the playoffs, both Raidman Muha and BOKSA. Yeah, their stats don't look too dissimilar. Raidman a bit ahead in terms of average points, BOKSA a bit ahead in terms of aces. Pretty close together in the table, first and second. There's not a lot on the line here. The only thing that can change based on this result is the seeding for the playoffs. Because, well, second place third and first place fourth. So if Raidman can get a win here and ends up ahead of BOKSA, he gets the benefits in quotation marks. It's questionable how much of a benefit it actually is, but he then gets to play fourth, while second has to play against third, which is on paper, in theory, the more difficult game.
Yeah, so kind of hoping for an easier semifinal round to the championship playoffs for the winner here. With that, our map for this matchup is Week 11, Kenya. Author is Amazing Keller, average score of 16,347. Over 10,000 locations, as kind of a polygon map will tend to be like. It's been played a couple hundred times by now, I think, given that this was taken before our matchups took place. Very few likes, and yeah, Kenya, good luck. Try to get a good score. Very interesting country, indeed, in Geoguessr Calamity.
Yeah, you can say good luck, try and get a good score to anything really. But yeah, definitely true in Kenya as well. Good luck probably referring to the locations mostly that you'll get. Some of them quite a lot easier than others, but we'll see what the Division 1 seed has on offer for us.
We will indeed. Well, let's not make you wait anymore for that, and we will jump right in to round number 1 here. As if I can, there we go. Large screen, the right screen to start us off here. And yeah, pretty nice open road. At least it's paved and painted, which means we might be able to find some sign or a number.
Yep.
Raidman.
Yeah, I was just going to say Raidman played the other division seeds, so he knows this place.
On that southeast highway leading to Nairobi. And it looks like BOKSA, being the Division 1 player, he is also played the other seeds. And it will come in handy here. Now, it could be a bit tricky to pinpoint because there isn't a whole lot along the road to help them, but there are some curves, and of course, if they can remember exactly from the other game, that will help them, and it seems to help at least BOKSA here.
Yeah, you have the additional disadvantage here of if you see there, the camera is a bit tilted on BOKSA's screen, for example, right now. Which always kind of gives you that worry of, is the coverage really exactly where it says on the road? Because that's like you do occasionally have instances where the coverage is just a bit off the road, for example. You usually have that when something went wrong with recording of the coverage or something went wrong with the coordinates of it. That seems, well, more likely when the camera is tilted.
Oh, interesting. Because there have been times for sure in the past where I'm like, no, Google, that's not where we are. And that might have just been a an error in, like you said, the recording of the locations. But in this case, it looks like, actually looks like Raidman is a little bit uncertain of the location. But
We've got some spoilers there.
We do got a bit of a spoiler there. It appears like BOKSA played it second. So he just misses out on it. Raidman does have his pin in a pretty good location, and is he going to get even better here? With about 40 seconds left to go.
Exciting. Will he get 5K or not?
Oh, I don't know, Calamity. Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know. He could move his pin at the last second. And no, probably not. Honing in on that location. And it's only a matter of time before we see exactly how he came to his conclusion.
Probably just a combination of buildings, such as the one you just looked at, as well as the road direction and the curves in it.
Yeah, it does appear that the buildings on this road, at least, are somewhat accurate, which is always nice. Yeah, it's not something you expect in a country like Kenya, but hey, take what you can get. And sure enough, he will get the ace there, as we can also see beating you out by a few points, Calamity, in that one. But yeah, 1 point to Raidman there, which was spoiled a little bit by BOKSA guessing early and him playing second. So,
yep.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. I will get us all set up here.
Not the most exciting round when both players have played the location before, and are just pinpointing maybe a bit on a straight road.
Yeah, we'll jump into round number 2 here. And it is kind of a weird thing. Like, there are some rounds where a 5K can be kind of boring. Like, it's like, wow, he got a 5K. Well, yeah, but there was a sign or it was a, repeat or something, and not too surprising. And in this one, I don't think it's a repeat, but a very, very good sign.
Yep.
And Raidman, right off the bat, jumping in on EC. How do you pronounce a double I?
I don't speak Kenyan, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Kenyan is a language.
I was about to say, I don't even know if you call it Kenyan, but they do speak a lot of English, but I don't know what the local native language is. But they're both going to be able to get that town on that road right away, and now it's a time to look for that point of interest again and get down to that pinpoint already. Only a minute in, and they've got it.
Yeah, this round is definitely even easier than the first one. The first one was only made easy by the fact that they've both played a similar / the exact same round in a different seed before. And this one pretty much has everything you need right close to the start.
Yeah, I mean, what makes for an interesting location in GeoGuessr for you, Calamity? Is it just the fact that it's easy just to get a 5K? Because sometimes I'm like, oh, we're here. Okay, move on. And that doesn't sound too fun. Like,
no, yeah.
You need a balance, right?
It depends on, for me, it depends on what the game mode is. Like, for example, what the time limit is, etc. My answer would differ depending on that. In general, I would say a good location is a location that takes some effort to get, be that because of figuring something out, maybe having to do some pinpointing, etc. But something that is definitely gettable, something where you can know for sure, okay, I've figured this out, we have to be here. Not a location where like, well, it's probably somewhere around here, but there's no POIs. There's like 17 roads around that I have no idea if they're on the map or not. So it's kind of like I'm making an educated guess here, and it might be right, but I really can't say for sure. That, to me, is not a good location.
Yeah, I definitely like it when the sign or whatever that gives you a hint as to where you are is a very unique or interesting bit of information, as both of them will, of course, given all those signs, pick up an ace in this round. For that one. But again, Calamity, very straightforward into round number 2 as well, and a single point lead for Raidman as they get into the next one here.
Yep. And also this could be something which is quite interesting that we didn't mention before. This could be a potential final. As we said, they're both in the playoffs. And I think regardless of what happens, they'll not play each other in the semifinals. So if both of them win their semifinals, then this could be sort of a first try at what, or a first look at what the final might end up being like. And I'm sure the person who wins this game will go into that, if it comes to it, with a bit more confidence than the loser of it.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, Having who won the other match? This is never mind. This is still regular season. This is the only time they're gonna meet. I was like,
Yeah.
who did they play? What was the other map? I have playoffs in my mind from some of the other divisions, and where we already have talked about. Oh, this is a repeat of an earlier matchup, but not the case here quite yet for this one. So yeah, let's just jump into round number 3 here and see what we got. Now this one could be a bit tricky. A dirt road in a small village, and at least at the start, no obvious signs. River in the distance for... Oh, there, never mind. There's at least something there for Raidman, and a river in the distance for BOKSA, as I was saying.
It looks pretty obvious to be a suburb of a pretty big city. You might know which suburb it is for sure, and as you said, Raidman's already seen the name of it, and there we go. Now he knows it's a suburb of Mombasa. Now BOKSA knows as well. So there we go. Not all that difficult, but yeah, pinpointing.
Raidman for a second there, not knowing where Kenya was on the map, but gets himself sorted out in no time for that. But yeah, he did say Bangladesh, and it's the Bangladesh here, not in India. That's a fun thing to happen. Names appearing in more than one places on the globe. But yeah, I think you mentioned it in one of our other casts that the suburbs of Nairobi and Mombasa are very distinct.
Yep.
In their kind of feel and kind of style, architectural style, and roads and whatnot. So
yeah, so if you've had a bit of practice, you could totally tell from just the starting location that you were in a suburb of Mombasa. Not which one specifically, but just the general location there. But yeah, as we saw, plenty of signs around to narrow it down a lot. Now the interesting part is, will they manage to pinpoint it? Because while there are certainly a lot of signs to give you the general region within, like, even down to like a square kilometer, maybe 2, getting the exact right place is a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I always have, I mean, of course, because I'm in Division 4, but I have problems with this where the road you're on at the start is like an unnamed side road, and you have to like count, okay, I went past this many roads, I made a left turn, and then like work it all backwards in your mind to get that location. And I don't always make the best guess. I tend to be one road off more than I would like.
Yeah, it kind of, it occasionally gives you that feeling of, well, I now know roughly where I am. Where do I even start with pinpointing? Like, how do I even figure out a starting point to work with?
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to find somewhere that you can pinpoint and know that that's not your starting location, and then kind of work your way back. In this case, Redman actually has found the church very close to the location that he saw on a gate just up here.
Yep.
That point of interest is actually going to save him quite a bit of work. He's got to figure out where that location actually is. There it is. And BOKSA, it looks like BOKSA
found the primary school in the region, and then went with his view of the river in the distance, so he knew he had to be somewhere close to a dead end.
And he will get the same road, but just a tad bit too far again, losing a second point to Raidman here, who gets another ace, who's still on for not only the win, well, actually a draw, because BOKSA has only dropped 2 points, but also for a perfect game, Calamity, which if he would pick up that would be even an extra feather in his cap in the final game.
Yeah, and that would then for sure guarantee him first place, because I'm not actually 100% sure how the perfect game situation is like before this game. Depending, actually, wait, what was it before? I've got the stat sheet still here. I was 25 for BOKSA and 23 for Raidman. So if Raidman gets a perfect score, that allows him the chance to overtake BOKSA, assuming that BOKSA gets 2 points for a draw and 2 a score in the top half, which at this point is likely. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, only dropping a couple points in Kenya would pretty much, I think, guarantee you the fact that you're going to be getting a bonus point. But I don't know, this seed has proved pretty easy for them, so maybe dropping even a couple of points is going to put you way down the bottom. Who knows? There might be quite a few perfect games in this one, as we'll jump into round number 4. And this might be our first look at a national park. A unique Google car, giving that away pretty straight, not to mention middle of nowhere.
Yeah, the problem you have here is that there's two locations that have this Google car, and they pretty much look identical to each other because they're not too far apart from each other. But as Raidman makes his way to the east here, he finds, I don't really know what that is, sort of an entrance point to the park. And BOKSA makes his way to the same point, which would then give you, I'm pretty sure, enough information to figure out which of the two locations you're in, as long as you're aware. Well, that helps.
Yeah. There you go. Map of Samburu National Park, as well as the gates that you might be at. So that's definitely really good. And Raidman will also catch a glimpse of this. So in this case, you don't even really need the old Google car meta. This lovely map will take care of that for you. So, now the trick is, which gate are you at? Or which end are you close to?
Yeah, first of all, the trick is for BOKSA to figure out that he's not in the right place.
Yeah, you're not in that one. There we go. Raidman has found the right park. Now it's time for him to get the gate.
The POI there is on BOKSA's screen with Samburu Trails. There we go.
There we go. And he'll pick that up, looking for that entrance as well. And now, again, got to work backwards to that starting point.
Yeah, good thing for them is that they both were pretty close to it, so they won't have to work backwards all that much.
Yeah, BOKSA is a little bit too far east. He's got to work a little bit further back using those points of interest. There we go. He's got it. Now to head on backwards. But again, not a very challenging round. Obvious that it's a national park, and they didn't actually even have to click that far. Went both going the right direction and getting that gatehouse, which had a beautiful map on it.
Yeah, the only thing I could imagine making that round a bit more challenging is if you walked the wrong way from the start. If you ignored like the houses you could see on the horizon to the east and just walked west and just kept going. Because I assume there's not a lot in that direction.
Yeah, well, neither of them went that direction. Did you go that direction, or did you head east to the buildings as well?
I didn't really do much. I just looked around and put a pin down.
Yeah, and it will get an ace for BOKSA there. Not too bad. And again, spoilers, Raidman on his screen having played, but luckily he doesn't spend too much longer getting an ace as well. So 20,000 points, 19,998 for BOKSA. And this close matchup continues on this one. So, but I definitely think maybe a draw favors, as long as it's not a perfect game, a draw favors BOKSA because he is in the lead going into this one. And those points will keep him ahead.
They won't.
If they both earn.
If Raidman gets
both earn the same.
If Raidman gets a perfect
score, game,
he's ahead. Yeah.
No, but if they both don't get a perfect game and they draw, the points pretty much stay the same because they both move the same number of points, and the result doesn't change for this one. And their number of aces is the only thing that's going to grow in this one. And as we get into the final round here.
Yeah, actually, I was wrong anyway. For some reason, I just associated perfect game with 4 points. But if it's a draw, then obviously Raidman only gets 3 points for a perfect game. So he's behind him, behind BOKSA either way, as long as BOKSA gets a draw.
Yeah, because he's 2 points down in the table right now. If he picks up 3, but BOKSA picks up 2, it won't be enough to make up that gap. So it's got to be a win here for Raidman. And... well, another national forest and another great sign not too far. Both of the competitors seen it almost exactly at the same time. Now, that gate is a bit far away. 11 kilometers is not nothing, but at least gives you some pretty good information. And again, a very unique Google car for the forest.
Yep.
So even in the national parks, most of the cars in Kenya still have the snorkel?
In most of them, yes.
Okay.
Not in all of them. I don't think the one we just had it, but I can quickly
Yeah, I
check
didn't.
that.
I think both of them now looking on the right end of the country at least. They got to find this park. Raidman traveling a bit more, looking at a couple of their intersection signs. These are pretty cool signs, I got to admit. And these like tree stumps in the middle of the intersection. That's pretty cool. While BOKSA has spent, well, now he's back on the map, back in the location rather, moving around. Has been a lot more time on the map. Trying to figure out where he is.
Yeah, the car in the other national park we just had didn't have a snorkel on it. At least it's not a visible one. It may have been on the car somewhere but blurred out, but you can't see it at least.
Yeah, BOKSA at least can't seem to decide if it's way west or way east. What national park it might be in. His marker is currently in a similar location to, actually a very similar location to Raidman, but he's not exactly confident on this, so this could be interesting. They both could be wrong, but almost equally so because their pins are very close together.
It looks like neither of them have, done any pinpointing in particular so far because they're still just looking for roads that fit.
Less than 30 seconds to go. This one is going to come down to the wire, and definitely when only with so few points separating them, losing 100 points here could be the death of either one of them, dropping out of tie range. Raidman seems somewhat confident, and with 2 seconds left, they're picking different intersections, and it will be Raidman who will get the better of it. 4,981 points. BOKSA 4,936 points for him there.
Yeah, neither of them getting a perfect score in that last round. But Raidman does get more points, so that doesn't matter though. They'll get a draw. Yeah,
so there we go. We see actually how close he was, a tad bit closer. BOKSA not going to show us that final score. 24,981 for... He didn't. He just killed the video, didn't he?
24,934 for BOKSA.
934. So about 60 odd points, not even 60 odd points separating those two. So a win for Raidman, at least in terms of points. In terms of the actual stats for Reddit League, it means a draw, and we'll keep BOKSA in first place. He will face fourth place in the playoff, and Raidman will be up against third place. So at least, as Calamity mentioned at the beginning of the video, at least on paper, an easier matchup for BOKSA. But again, it does set up a possible repeat in the final if they both win their playoff semifinal, Calamity.
Absolutely. And looking at how close this game was, I definitely look forward to seeing that game.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting. The final is a best of 3. So this could definitely go the distance between these two if it comes down to that, and we look forward to that. Well, yeah, if you don't want to miss this playoff championship race here at the end of the season, hit that subscribe and bell button so every video will pop up in your feed on YouTube, and you'll be able to see it as soon as it goes live. And you can revel in the amazement of how these players finish off the season and we crown a champion. And it won't be a repeat because Simi is not going to make the playoffs. But Raidman will get another crack at it, having made the playoffs in the previous couple years and never reaching that final position. And we'll see you all then. Take care.
Bye.